Hey folks, it's 21 Maxwell here and welcome to episode 146 of the TNA Impact Wrestling TEW2013 Let's Play. You join us on our go home week before the big pay-per-view Bound for Glory, possibly the biggest pay-per-view in TNA history, where hopefully we can get a really good rating. So we've got a final crossfire in this episode, and the following episode we'll have our go home show of TNA Impact. Small interesting thing to note here is if I just quickly go to the region bit, we're booking it today in the Carolina Coliseum in South Carolina. But what I'm really interested to say is the Midwest is actually increased now to a C+66. However, the Great Lakes is the one that's dropped to a C65. So somehow we've gained pop, or importance, during basically not having any episodes. So this is going to be interesting to see how this develops, if it's going to start coming up during shows, whether we're going to be gaining importance now, if we can really push on and making our way hopefully back to being a national company. So that's good to see, and hopefully that starts in the next couple of weeks. Hopefully that cooling down phase is over, but then again it's not really popped up to say it's over. I'm not going to lie, having had TW for a year, I've never really experienced this, so that'll be interesting to see how it happens down the line. I say we're hoping for a decent attendance here, hopefully sell the place out. And yeah, we've got 14 segments because we've got a lot to cover. I realise we've got 10 matches planned for Bound for Glory, which of course we'll run down in the next episode. And we've got some free pre-show segments as well. So guys, sit back, relax and enjoy TNA Crossfire. So our opening contest, a match that had some good action but not much in the way of heat. The stable of Divine Entertainment, Jesse Sorensen, Jake Carter, Pinky Sanchez and DJ Z, defeated the Amazing Red, AR Fox, Bully Ray and Spud in 9:32 when DJ Z defeats Spud by pinfall. Quite an impressive C+66, it got a lot better rating than I thought it would. Johnny Devine and Pinky Sanchez doing their usual good work together. Pinky Sanchez improving his technical skills and Spud improving his rumble skills. A lot of negatives here, but the basis of this match was really just to give some momentum towards Divine Entertainment going into their match at the pay-per-view. Next up and about, they had some solid in-ring action but not much in the way of heat. Madison Rayne defeated Vivian Thompson in 7:28 with the raindrop, a D46. Good stuff there from the commentary team. There were no skill improvements to speak of, and our dirt sheet has a lot of negatives there. Both ladies have low momentum and holding back. Low morale for Vivian and poor gimmick for Madison, but again we're more so building up Madison as the girlfriend of Colby Carino. And our final pre-show match and about it featured great action and average heat. Rocky Romero defeats Matt Taven in 12:33 by pinfall. B-73 just to put on a good match before we get into the actual show. There were no skill improvements, and negatives here are going to be mostly for holding back, the cold crowd previously, and just low morale on Matt Taven. The show itself starts off pretty decent because we obviously had a bit of a hot crowd getting into it. We have a spectacular opening of pyro for once, before we're greeted by our TNA Crossfire team of Mike Tenay and Matt Striker. Mike Tenay says, "Hello everyone and welcome to TNA Crossfire. We are just days away from quite possibly the biggest pay-per-view in TNA history." Matt Striker says, "And Mike, what a night we have planned tonight. Just days away from their historic clash for the TNA Championship, Samoa Joe and Ethan Carter III will have a contract signing in that very ring." Tenay says, "I for one cannot wait for this. Here we go." So a B80. Somehow Striker was underwhelming, which I'm shocked at because he's getting really over now. The title feud advanced with that segment. But apart from that, just a few negatives there, but overall a good solid opening to the show. Our opening contest and about it was extremely short. Colby Carino defeated Brother Devon in 4:36 by pinfall. This was a D-40. Just a short match to put Colby over. It did its job, Devon was off his game, and Madison did some good work at ringside. There were no skill improvements. But I say it's just to put Colby over, and maybe if it was against somebody that wasn't, in low momentum, still character, declining physical ability, it would have been a higher rated match. But overall, just a match to put Colby over. We then have a hype video with a little bit of a difference. It's Mike Tenay who's explaining how prestigious the mask is, especially in Mexico. He speaks about how it is the ultimate insult to lose your mask and how at Bound for Glory either Soldier Ant or Mascara Dorada will suffer this fate. So they're just building up for their match with a little hype video on the historic, well, basically the history of the mask in Mexico. So it's a C62, continues their storyline. All happy with that. Then in a match that featured great action and average heat, Masato Yoshino and Mascara Dorada defeated Soldier Ant and Ricochet in 9:46 when Masato Yoshino defeated Soldier Ant with a lightning spiral. B-72, combining two feuds together, that's really good. Surprised it got its higher rating, but there were no skill improvements. The heels get the victory, and of course a lot of negatives there, which will hopefully sort out. A lot of guys holding back, inconsistent. The low morale of Soldier Ant, so we need to fix that as well. Overall, it's pretty decent. Then a bout that featured great action and a good crowd. We had Lance Hoyt defeat Chris Hero and Bobby Lashley in 9:54 when Lance Hoyt defeated Chris Hero by pinfall with a boot from hell. Disappointing a C-58, Hoyt was off his games, but it was just to carry on the tag team storyline with a member from each tag team. Lance Hoyt's improving his technical skills. Negatives here, mostly going to be for Chris Hero, so we'll need to sort that out. But overall, it done its job of promoting the tag team storyline. In a match that had some good action, but not much in the way of heat, Eric Young and James Storm defeated the Hardys in 5:54 when James Storm defeated Jeff Hardy by pinfall. Somehow, this got a B-72 when we've had more over tag teams defeat the Hardys and it's just never really done anything by a good rating at all. The Hardys showed some excellent chemistry together. Eric Young is improving technical skills, James Storm is improving his flying skills, and Matt Hardy is improving his rumble skills. And the dirt sheet just has a lot of negatives for Matt and Jeff Hardy there. Eric Young, not so much. James Storm with just the one, so hopefully maybe get a final push out of the Cowboy, who we've kind of underutilised in the series so far. After picking up the victory, Eric Young and James Storm are confronted by the Divine Entertainment stable, with Kurt Angle and Johnny Devine in tow. Sorensen, Carter, DGZ and Pinky Sanchez surround the ring and they begin a 4-on-2 assault. The beatdown doesn't get too bad though, as quickly to the rescue are the Forever Hooligans, Alex Kozlov and Rocky Romero, who make the save. Austin slowly makes his way behind them to cheer them on, and it ends up being a 4 versus 4 brawl. That ends up with some of them up to the ramp and fighting through to the back, while the rest of them end up fighting through the crowd until we cut to a commercial. So just massive brawl between these 8 to continue that storyline. D+53 here. Eric Young underperformed, as did Jake Carter and Jesse Sorensen. The Hooligans looked excellent coming out of it. No skill improvements, and obviously a few negatives here. Quite a few for Jesse Sorensen. So once we finally get that face turn on him, which will be a while away, then hopefully we get penalised for being a very good babyface for the amount of times he's been penalised for being a poor heel. Next up, in a match that had some good action but not much in the way of heat, Davey Richards defeated Rhett Titus in 5:58 by pinfall with a DR Driver 2. It was a C62. Standard match putting Davey Richards over. A lot of negatives there for Rhett Titus. Both men failed to deal with going all out, but it was just a quick match there to put Davey over. Davey then takes the mic and says, "You see this, Morrison? This is exactly what's going to happen to you this Sunday. That X Division title is coming to the death by honour and round the waist of its hungriest wolf." Davey then drops the mic and rolls out of the ring. It's a short and sweet promo by Richards, just saying he's going to win that title and he's going to kick Morrison's ass this Sunday. It's a C63. Continues the X Division storyline, and just low momentum is the only negative there for Davey Richards. Oh dear, this is quite a poor rating. In a match that had some good action and average heat, Shinsuke Nakamura, Ivelisse Velez and Mia Yim defeat Kota Ibushi, Angelina Love and Velvet Sky in 9:59 when Ivelisse defeats Velvet by pinfall, a C-55. These women were previously getting decent matches before, maybe getting to the 60s, and I thought the inclusion of Nakamura and Ibushi would have elevated it a little bit higher. Unfortunately not. But it does continue on the two storylines. It gives the babyfaces a victory. There are no skill improvements to speak of. What's the negatives there? I think next time we'll just take out Velvet Sky for all those negatives, but just a case where it didn't click. Which is a shame, but it happens. Okay, we may lose pop here because this is my co-main event. And about the feature, great action and a good crowd. Adam Cole defeated Hawkins in 9:59 with the Florida Key. Just a C plus 69. No skill improvements. Negatives here, actually mostly for Adam Cole. Poor gimmick, inconsistency, and holding back. So that's disappointing. Could have made it a bit longer, but time constraints and try to fit so much in to the show. But after the match, Adam Cole then requests a microphone and begins to speak. This is just another example why this guy right here is the man to beat. Taker, you may be a legend in this industry. The legend's times come and go, and it's time for your time, to be over, and it's time to go. Move along. Let the next generation take the spotlight. Make the money and have the glory. Sure, 25 years you've reigned supreme in this business, but let's be honest, you've never faced anyone with the qualities of Adam Cole. So this Sunday, give all you've got, because your soul belongs to me. So getting a bit more heat, making Adam Cole look cocky as hell, and that's a B82 there for the leader of the Death by Honor stable. Our main event, and about it featured great action and a good crowd. Samoa Joe defeats Chris Jericho in 13:35 by pinfall. During the match we had Bram attack Chris Jericho and cause the victory for Samoa Joe. So B78, we're looking like needing some good angles here to try and make sure we don't lose pop. The violence storyline has advanced to this segment. Joe's improving his performance skills. And yeah, quite a few negatives here for Jericho. But you know, I thought him and Joe haven't really faced each other. Wanted to try it. Unfortunately, just not over enough. But we finished the show with our contract signing, of course. We head to the ring where GM Steve Austin is in the ring and introduces EC3 and Joe to the ring for the contract signing for the main event at Bound for Glory. Austin says, now we're just days away from Bound for Glory with quite possibly the biggest match in biggest title match in TNA history. Joe says, biggest match in TNA history? Of course it is. Samoa Joe is in it. It's just a shame I have to share the spotlight, share my spotlight, with a guy who's been gifted everything in this company by his aunt. EC3 says, Joe, relax, it's understandable. But all this pressure makes you say things that quite frankly aren't true. I mean, come on, when was the last time you saw my aunt around here? This match isn't just for me, it's for the fans of TNA Impact Wrestling. EC3 then begins to sign the contract. Joe says, you say it's for the fans, and it would be, had they not turned their back on me and supported you. They're just like you, they're nothing but a phony. Joe quickly then signs the contract, but it kinda offends EC3 with that comment, which results in EC3 flipping the table, and both men begin to start brawling, lefts and rights to each other, and we actually go off camera here and fade to the credits. This is one of those angles where if I had a lot more text space in the angle, I could have written it all day. You're pretty limited in what you can do, so it makes it look like it's a very short contract signing, but that's the gist of it. And then they brawl and just leave it in a perfect cliffhanger. But an A94 hopefully can help our ratings there. Austin was underwhelming, that says a lot when he's in against with Joe and Carter, who are just over there getting the title feud advances. That's good to see. No skill improvements. Only negative, Austin's chemistry. Can that angle save his though and get us a good rating? So B79, there were no specific comments made about the show, which means we didn't lose pop, but we didn't gain any. But overall, that's the main things. We don't lose any. When we eventually can gain some, we'll be delighted. So that's it for this episode, guys. Next up, I'm going to go and book the final episode before the pay-per-view. Of course, it's going to be TNA Impact Wrestling. So, of course, if you get any comments, please leave them in the comments section regarding the series, TW in general, or just generally wrestling. Because all conversation on wrestling is good conversation usually, and there's a lot of debates to be had. Apart from that, if you enjoyed the video, bash the hell out of the like button. Never know, a lot of likes could end up seeing somebody finding this video, actually finding TW, and there we go, there's another person joining our little community. which is ever growing and hopefully continues to expand at a steady rate. Apart from that, guys, thank you for watching, and until next time, this is 21 Maxwell. One episode to go before Bound for Glory. Bye bye.